Okay. Okay. I didn't realize I was already on camera. Yay! Okay. Um, Welcome ladies. This is Chini. Welcome to this Start in Your Startup class. And it's tagline is start your business in 14 days. Now let's start out with this quote which I really like. It says, things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. That's a quote by Anonymous. Oh, I don't know who said it, but I like it. Emphasis is just that you can decide, my dear ladies, to put back your entrepreneurial dreams and say, "Oh, I'll do that later, later." But guess what? What will be left for you will be leftovers. Okay? There is a time and a season for everything. If you had this burning desire, if you've had it for a long time, if you have it so strong now, it's probably now is the time. So, we are going to take action to launch your business. We are done sitting and waiting. Hmm? We are done letting all the things that becloud us as ladies stand in your way. Okay? So we're going to take action. In this class, you are going to take action. What is a startup? According to Eric Ries, a startup is a human institution designed to deliver a new product or service on the conditions of extreme uncertainties. Now, let's talk a little bit about what it is that's needed to get a startup going. There are so many business advice out there that's hard to cut through. What is really needed to get a startup going? Consider this popular thoughts. You probably heard one or two of them. Work on your business, not in your business. Okay, ladies, you're just starting a business. How do you get to work on your business and not in your business? Yes, I get it. The people who say that probably are thinking, well, hire people. But come on. Yes, you hire people. We're going to talk about that down the line. But you're starting a business, right? You don't want to throw in all your money in there, right? How is that even possible when um, I mean, from where I stand, it's impractical when you're trying to bootstrap an idea that you have. Another one is optimize your funnel. That's pretty pointless now when you have no leads at all. I mean, you just have an idea, right? Hack your growth. Oh, it's difficult to do that before you even have a customer, right? So, those are like some, will I call it, myth or some things that people love to say when they're talking about or with startups. But the goal of this class is to get you from a entrepreneur to an entrepreneur, from someone who has an idea to someone who has a startup. A entrepreneur is someone who wants to be an entrepreneur. I often get a chance to chat with entrepreneurs about their ideas, and almost every one of them are failing at one of three things. They're either failing on the idea, or they're failing on getting clarity and packaging it well, or they are failing on executing it, almost in equal measure. On the flip side, um, excuse me, um, successful startup companies, they excel on all of them. Although I can't think of one single entrepreneur that I have met who does all of the three things well, but they excel on all of them. You get to excel on your idea, you get to excel on how it's packaged, you get to excel on executing it, your plans and strategies and all of those. Um, and for this reason, a vast majority of successful startups are a team of people, not an individual. And they could be team that you tag along as partners, or they may be just teams that, where your team members, you hire them as needed, right? So for example, you want to build a website, you hire someone to just design a website. For some other people, they're like, oh, I just want a partner, someone we can grow together. But either way, why I'm taking the time to talk about this early on is that I realize that a lot of times for people, one of the things that hold ladies back from launching their business is the funny idea that they have to do everything themselves, every single thing themselves. Like, and that's scary, isn't it? Imagine that you have to have the idea, then you have to say it right, and then you have to package it right, then you have to present it right, then you have to sell it right, then you have to, you know, it's a lot to think about, and it can be scary. So I am putting it out there first for you to settle your mind that as we go through all that needs to happen before you launch your business, don't feel scared. I'm like, oh, I can't do all of this. I spoke to a few people recently, few clients, and they were just like, oh, so how do I even start? Like, I know what I want to do, but where do I start? I'm like, hey, start from looking at the competitor's website. Start by seeing what other people who do what you want to do are doing. You'll get some ideas. So I guess my point is, you don't have to stress out about, hey, am I going to do all those things? Well, no, you can work in a team. So let's jump right in and talk a little bit more about starting this your business. So let's talk about the idea first. There is a popular maxim in the entrepreneurial space that says ideas don't matter, only packaging and execution matter. So people say, doesn't really matter what you have, just package it well. Well, well, I know that the advice is well intentioned, but it's not exactly correct. And let's talk about that a little bit. Um, Take a look at um, the training process of Angel. The company is getting funded through space, or or think about your successful entrepreneurial friends. They're all working on something that has some sort of unique ability to deal with a problem that someone is facing. It might not be the next iPhone, but it's an idea that has successfully captured enough attention to take off, and that is very important for your idea. Are you just thinking of something in your little corner, like, is it really solving a real problem that people face? Or is it just something that you just feel excited and, passionate about, like, oh, I love it. um so ideas might be very important for you to bear in mind. Your idea is important, and I'm going to dedicate a fair amount of time to it on day one. Um, the problem is, it's only one part of three elements required to successfully get a startup off the ground. It's where entrepreneurs spend 100% of their time. They can talk about their idea till they turn blue. Ladies. And it's sad and interesting, but especially we ladies, we just talk and talk and talk about our ideas. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do this. Oh, see, and so anyways, um but when it comes to the other elements, which is packaging and executing, it's just entrepreneurs just don't do anything. I want to get you from being an entrepreneur to a real actual startup, and that's my goal. Okay. Now, we're going to dedicate one day on your idea. You will choose one best idea, and then we are going to move on. Okay. Ideas are great, but they are not worth spending your entire life in trying to figure out. So we're going to just pick one and we'll move on. Okay. Now, the second aspect is packaging. And once you have an idea that has some merits, it needs to be packaged well. This class is about getting something to the market quickly. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that it's an ongoing process to continually package your idea well. Okay? It's very important to note. Packaging is your ability to present your idea just as well as the best ideas in the world. You should be able to package your idea in days at a level that compares with the best in the world, since that should be your goal in the long run, right? But you're not supposed to sit on it and die in it. Like, so, oh, this idea has to be really packaged, and if it's not like perfectly packaged, I'm not moving anywhere. Okay, you're gonna get stuck. You won't go anywhere. You actually don't have a business for real. Anyway, so there is no use complaining about being self-funded and not having resources. People just complain about that forever and they don't take action. The truth is that customers don't care. They don't care about whether you're self-funded or you don't have resources. They don't. They make comparisons and make choices. That's what customers do. So if you do not package and present as well as the competition, they will choose your competition. And you're gonna take it personal. Don't take it personal. It's just one person packaged better than the other. Packaging and presentation is a really big problem outside of the big startup hub. It's very often misunderstood, and simply getting a brand on the website to look and feel like an exciting startup is difficult, and it's just weird, but that's the reality. So in this class, if you're not able to present your idea in a way that compares favorably with the best in the world, then look for help. Get a co-founder or get a technical person to help you address that little problem that it's of packaging, right? The last part is execution. Execution is just it's taken from the book of Proverbs 6:4. It says, "Don't put it off. Do it now. Don't rest until you do." Ladies, I don't know about you, but I really get very thrilled by how um, comprehensive the Bible can be. Like, it kind of addresses every damn area of our lives. Even in business, Proverbs is telling you, hey, don't put it off. Do it and don't rest. Don't rest until you do. Ladies, that's an instruction. It's not a plea. It's not an encouragement, not an admonition. It's an instruction. Say, don't put it off. Quit putting off your plans to get your startup up and running. Okay, it's time to do it, and to do it now, and do not rest until you do it. Anyways, that's execution. But in this class, we're not going to be talking a lot about execution. We're going to think about it a little bit, but we're going to talk about execution in the next class, where we take the client acquisition strategies, and finding what works, and implementing them, and all, getting clients and all of those. So we talk about execution, but for now, I just wanted to put it out there and introduce you to it. Now that we have gone through the the thought the 1 through 3 elements of a business startup, let us go ahead and no, I want to say this about execution again. um just like that book of Proverbs says, execution in this context is relentlessly pursuing what needs to be done at any given time. That's what it is. Relentlessly. Does that not sound like what Proverbs was saying? It says, don't rest until it's done. Relentlessly. Right? Um, Execution is, for example, Marco Zabacosta. I always just have a hard time calling his name. From Tom Tag, getting no 42 out of 44 tries. Execution is safeguarding, getting 900 rejection letters in a row. Execution is Chris Saka creating a company, its website, and business cards just to be taken seriously at networking events. Idea. These are what execution looks like. Point is that execution is like me as a founder and director of GWIP doing all it takes to make this program accessible and easy to implement for you. It is doing all I can to make more women who need it become aware of it and to use it. That is execution. Early stage startup execution is generally about spending your time on the things that are most likely to bring you customers. That could mean getting out there for some. It may be getting a skill set, more customers, while for others it might mean something totally different, right? The point is that whatever you're doing you're doing it to bring customers to your business. For example, I have built my consulting firm, email consulting business, off the back of networking. I've signed up for countless networking events where I go every month and I try to meet people one at a time. At these events, I try to connect with them one person at a time so that they can put a face to my name. And we'll discuss this more we'll discuss more about this when we're talking about, when we're talking about client acquisition strategies and the power of being seen and heard, which is in another class. But I'm just sharing that to give you an example of what I mean when I say execution. And for it to be, for you, it could be content marketing. You can decide to write 250 posts in the first year. You can write one post a day, which could eventually become a lead generation machine, autopilot. So that you don't have to advertise again. If you don't have a business, my dear, you need to launch. And this class is supposed to help you do just that. So for the next 14 days, including today, you will need to do what you have to do to get your business off the ground. And I know you can get it done. I know that you are going to have other stuff to do, but I want to encourage you to relentlessly pursue launching your business. Once you launch, you will need to get more people paying you for your business, right? And so you would have to relentlessly pursue the best method of getting customers and not just the stuff that you would naturally gravitate to. Okay? Now, anti-execution is what entrepreneurs do. They do everything other than what needs to be done to get their business off the ground. I struggled with that when I newly started out. Um, I remember I would prefer to sit behind the computer and keep designing my website until I think it's perfect. Or I'll just try to write a blog and I will spend 3 days writing one blog because I feel like every time I come to read it, there's something I must change in it. Something has to change. And then I just keep talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. Excuse me. No. It could be that, you keep working on your website just like me over and over again, or you think of one more new world changing idea, or you go to startup events and you just keep discussing your ideas, or you do everything other than what you need to do that more often than not is getting you customers. That's what entrepreneurs do. So as I'm talking to you, are you an entrepreneur? Well, if that's what you've been for a while, this class should help you become an entrepreneur if you want to. I know you want it. That's why you're here. So we're gonna see how we can make that happen. Okay. Um, some people are not good at execution. They don't know how to filter the noise, work out what they really need to do, and then tirelessly get it done. You know, if idea, packaging, or execution are not you, please, it is not a crime to get help. I did struggle with that earlier on. I think I've mentioned that before. I always felt that I needed to do everything myself, and it's not because I was proud. It's just because of the culture and the type, the way I grew up. You're only given accolades when when you can demonstrate that you did everything yourself. You were the brain behind the idea. You were the one that executed it. You executed masterfully. I mean, and then um then with that type of mindset came guilt, so that anytime you ask for help, then you feel guilty, you feel like you're cheating, you feel like you have to tell the whole world that, hey, I asked for help, this is the person that helped me, this is how the person helped me. And so if, for example, I'm writing a blog and I get an editor to edit my blog, then I feel guilty because I feel like the whole world now thinks I am the one that wrote the blog and edited it and made it beautiful and put it out there. So because of that, I don't want to launch it. See? That's how we think sometimes. But on the contrary, most CEOs in this world, successful CEOs in this world, they don't even do, most of them are just the brain box of the ideas. They don't even execute per se. They get help from people who execute. And that's okay. Okay? That's perfectly okay. So, having said, I want you to be an entrepreneur. Okay? I want you to be an entrepreneur. Don't be a entrepreneur who spends a whole lot of time watching TED Talks and talking about their business ideas that they never launch them. You know that type, right? Okay. Even, every time you see them, they have a new multi-million dollar idea. Or they're probably telling you of a sad story of how Zuckerberg stole their idea and went to set up Facebook. They had Facebook idea 3 years before Zuckerberg did. Or they don't understand that, entrepreneurs are rarely the inventors who came up with breakthrough technology. And that's the truth. Instead, they are people who took small problems and worked it to death until they found a solution that gained traction. So if you're in a conversation with a friend about your business idea this month and next month, and you're still having the same conversation with that entrepreneur, that person is a real entrepreneur. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to launch your business. If you take action on the instructions I give you in this class, I believe you can become an entrepreneur in the next month. Yes, you can. You can. How do I know? Because I've been there and I know the struggles and I know that you can go past them because I did go past them and I know many people who have gone past them. You can go past them. Now, this is not a typical business class. So don't bother with expecting me to share tactics or find your ideal market, create your unique, selling proposition, practice your elevation page. Yes, we're going to talk about those at some point. Those are very important aspects of launching a business because at least you need to communicate what it is that you're selling. But I also try to let you know that whatever it is we put together here as your elevator pitch or your selling proposition, these are all based on assumptions and they are only starting points. They are open to, they are going to be, reviewed and reviewed as soon as you launch and you go out there and start working to get clients. You would find the need to come back and review your elevator pitch, your selling propositions, and all that stuff. Okay, but I'm not out to throw those things and force those things down your throat. I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to do in the next 13 days for you to launch your business. For now, let's consider what needs to happen before um, before before you launch your business. Okay. Now, in day one, um, you need to have an idea to package and launch. And I'll explain how to generate ideas and tell how to tell a good idea from a bad one. Um, and so, or not just a bad one, but an idea that you may want to hold off for later, right? Because sometimes we get ideas that are not for now, they're for later. They are like after the fact type thing. So you need an idea for the now, and then you need to make some money from the idea that you have for the now, so you can launch the idea that you really had, right? So we are going to have that conversation. If you already have a business idea, this will be a very good opportunity for you to validate your idea. In day two, you need to get clarity on what you hope to accomplish with the idea you have. You need to set business goals, objectives, and get clear on the mission of your business. This is where we embrace the concept of working from the end in mind. You're also going to um, okay, in day three, you will need to determine what your minimum viable product or service is, and then you articulate them. I will explain what a minimum viable product or service is, and you can start thinking about what you're going to launch on day 12 or 13. That's when you actually launch day. Anyways, on day 4, you'll need a business name. It doesn't really matter what it is, but we'll look at ways you can create simple, useful names for your business. On day 5, you need to write out your elevator pitch or value proposition. I'll tell you what that is and show you how to write them. Day 6, you need to package your business and get it ready for presentation. So on that day, you will be writing out content that you will present to customers. Okay. And so you need to sorry, one second, just trying to check my notes. I think I got a few things twisted here. Anyway, you need a landing page of some sort or an online presence. So I'm going to show you how to build a website in less than 1 day, and I'll also show you how and where you can get help if you need somebody to help you build the website. Okay. I already talked about the landing page. On day 8, you will need some freebies for your clients that you will give to them on when you launch your business. And so we also need to figure out, what channel will you use to distribute your freebie. I'll walk you through how to choose a freebie and create one. Day 9, you will need to make a list of your launch target audience, figure out where to find them, get their contact information, email addresses, social media pages, and so on. Get them to be your friend on Facebook, on LinkedIn, blah, 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 whatever. I'm going to show you how you find them. The goal of that for that day will be to figure out who do you need to tell that you just launched a business, and we'll explore the options and where you can find them. On day 10, you will need to set up your social media accounts, business email addresses, business cards, flyers, brochure. You'll need to connect with your launch target audience on social media, and this is very important, right? So we'll also talk about where to how to set up those things, and if you need to get help from somebody to help you set them up, explore those options as well. Yeah. In day 11, we will figure out how we're going to get paid. We need to figure that out. If you will be receiving monies online, you need to have it set up on your website. On day 12, you're going to launch your business. You will go live on your website. You will email everyone who you put on your pre-launch list, and then you'll send out your freebies. You tell them about your business, you thank them, and things like that. Day 13, you email everyone. You would Sorry, I think I'm mixing something up. Oh, on day 14, if you are a member of any forum that allow you to have a signature that mentions your business, you can go ahead and talk about, put up that signature there. You would also be sharing your elevator pitch with 20 to 30 people, potential clients on social media, and then you would point them to your freebie if that's something they'll be interested in. So that's kind of like a walkthrough of what we're going to be dealing with in this class for the next 14 days until you have a business and you can comfortably tell yourself and tell people, hey, I am, blah, 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 CEO of, founder of, whatever. Love to hear that. Okay.